So here's exactly how this wild mess landed on my screen. I was casually watching one of John B's Cadillac Records episodes when a video from Tasha K suddenly hijacked my recommendations. Honestly, I planned to scroll right past it. Then I spotted Claressa Shields splashed across the thumbnail and instantly wondered, okay, what fresh chaos is happening now? I assumed it would just recycle the BET Awards chatter, but believe me, it exploded into something way messier than expected. That's when I knew this drama deserved a closer look. If you want every detail, watch Tasha K's video yourself. Just jump straight to the clip showing Pap giving Claressa a piggyback ride because that's where everything really goes off the rails. The very first thing Tasha K zeroed in on was Claressa Shields once again talking about having a baby next year. While playing that interview, Tasha sarcastically broke into our Kelly's half on a baby, adding her own shady spin to the entire conversation. Then she dropped the line everyone started buzzing about, claiming Claressa might be planning for a baby. But first, Pap would have to divorce Remy Ma, and according to Tasha, that divorce definitely isn't happening anytime soon. You already know people had plenty to say after hearing that. Next, Tasha played footage of Claressa walking down the aisle at the BET Awards, and I immediately remembered wondering whether Claressa had somehow scored an upgrade from those earlier seats. You know how these events usually work. Concerts and award shows often shuffle people around whenever sections stay half empty or someone fills vacant seats. That's exactly how the entire moment looked. It felt like somebody simply said, "Come on, move closer to the action." Suddenly, she was sitting much closer to the biggest celebrities, and naturally people started talking. From Tasha K's perspective though, the real issue wasn't where anyone sat. It was Claressa confidently walking that aisle beside another woman's husband. She insisted those optics alone were enough to keep everyone gossiping. Then she unleashed one of her trademark comparisons by asking, "Why would Pap trade Blue Cross for Medicaid?" That single line instantly became one of the biggest talking points from her commentary. She then explained exactly what she meant by the comparison. According to Tasha, Claressa represented the Medicaid side, while Remy Ma symbolized premium insurance because she's still the wife. She specifically mentioned Blue Cross Blue Shield because that was the example she chose, although her overall point reached far beyond any single insurance company. Whether you call it premium coverage or the highest tier insurance available, Tasha's point stayed exactly the same. The wife keeps the real privileges while the mistress never reaches that position. Love it or hate it, that comparison was clearly designed to leave a mark. Tasha also insisted that, in her opinion, divorce only happens when both husband and wife decide their marriage has truly reached the finish line. She first hinted that Remy Ma would have to step aside, then rephrased her argument by saying the final decision rested with Pap choosing to let Remy go. Either way, her conclusion never changed. She doesn't believe anyone outside that marriage has the power to decide when it officially ends. Afterward, Tasha played another clip of Claressa Shields telling a radio station she planned to have a baby with Pap next year, and even claimed the idea originally came from him. Once that ended, Tasha completely changed directions and immediately started picking apart Claressa's appearance. She questioned why Claressa's makeup looked so gray on camera, and blamed the foundation for making her complexion appear completely washed out. Tasha even joked the entire look was casket-ready, making it one of the sharpest insults in the entire video. She still wasn't finished. Tasha wondered why Pap supposedly never told Claressa her makeup looked completely wrong before stepping into public. In her opinion, somebody close to her should have spoken up instead of letting her walk around looking, as she described it, like an absolute hot mess. Whether you agreed with that criticism or not, she definitely refused to hold anything back. As Claressa continued explaining why she couldn't have a baby this year, Tasha kept throwing sarcastic comments from the background. At one point she flatly replied, "And you can't and you won't," making her disbelief impossible to miss. Then she pushed things even further by claiming that although the relationship has supposedly been public for around 2 years, she believes it actually began at least 1 year earlier behind closed doors. Looking back at that timeline certainly raises plenty of questions. Who kept showing up inside Remy Ma's comments and direct messages? who constantly asked for fashion advice while closely following every single post she shared. It almost seemed like somebody always knew when Remy traveled, what she watched, what she ate, and even when she stayed home or left town. Then, according to that version of events, the attention eventually shifted from following Remy's schedule to tracking Pap's every move instead. Believe it or not, that's exactly the picture Tasha tried painting. Tasha pushed the theory even further by claiming Claressa allegedly wanted to copy Remy behind the scenes in every possible way. She argued it wasn't only about following her online but also wanting to dress like her, wear the same fragrance, and recreate her entire image. Then she reduced her whole argument to one straightforward point. If Pap genuinely wanted his marriage finished, she believes divorce papers would already have been filed. In her opinion, 2 years gives anyone more than enough time to make a final decision. To reinforce her argument, Tasha shared a personal family story that she believed closely mirrored this situation. She described a relative whose husband became involved with younger women but still never officially divorced his wife. Ironically, while telling that story, the same relative unexpectedly called into the live stream and interrupted everything. The caller basically warned Tasha she was digging a little too deeply into family business and needed to slow down. After ending the conversation, Pap's belongings were reportedly packed. There were claims he stopped contributing financially, and even stories suggesting he had been sleeping on the couch. From my perspective, Remy seemed to have emotionally checked out long before everything spilled into public view, while Pap allegedly refused to accept that reality. Even after several public controversies, he still appeared unwilling to completely let go of the marriage. That alone speaks volumes to me. I also believe that if there was ever a genuine attempt to reconcile, it probably collapsed because the same patterns kept repeating. Reports surfaced about dinners together, fueling speculation that maybe things were quietly improving behind closed doors. But then fresh allegations emerged claiming Pap was still involved with other women. If those accusations are true, it's not difficult to understand why rebuilding trust would completely unravel. At that point, history simply started repeating itself again. That's exactly why I keep questioning the bigger picture. If someone is allegedly struggling with responsibilities at home, dealing with financial problems, and facing accusations involving gambling debts or other issues, why would anyone suddenly expect that person to become the perfect partner overnight? People absolutely can change, but real change comes through actions, not empty promises. That's the part of this entire situation that keeps standing out the most. Tasha's overall theory couldn't really be much simpler. She believes Pap gains far more by staying legally married than by officially ending the marriage. According to her, that marriage still carries benefits that would instantly disappear the second divorce papers became official. Throughout her live stream, she hammered that same point home repeatedly. If Pap truly wanted a divorce, she believes it already would have happened. Honestly, plenty of people have been making that exact observation for quite some time. If Pap wanted to cover the Remy tattoo, he easily could have. If he wanted to delete old anniversary posts or birthday tributes, nothing stopped him. That's exactly why this entire story refuses to fade away. Tasha K believes the biggest explanation is incredibly simple. Remy Ma still brings the name recognition, shared history, and public relevance connected to Pap. In her opinion, that's the real reason the separation has never become official. Whether viewers agree with that conclusion is a completely different discussion, but it has definitely become one of the biggest talking points surrounding this entire situation. So now I want to hear what you think. Did Tasha K actually make a valid point by comparing Claressa Shields to Medicaid and Remy Ma to Blue Cross Blue Shield? Or did she completely cross the line with those comparisons? And what about all the baby talk? Would bringing a child into a situation like this only create even more drama and heartbreak while Pap comfortably stays caught in the middle? Let me know exactly where you stand in the comments because this conversation is nowhere near ending anytime soon.